Welcome to that One Time in Rehab podcast, coming live from our new studio. Beautiful, right? We're going to get right into things today. We are taking a trip to Delray Beach. This is part 2 of the series of things I don't want you to know about me, or things you should know about me, or things you should know about me in order to listen to the podcast and understand me more. Delray Beach, Florida, most well known for patient brokering, human trafficking, palm trees, and beautiful beaches. That's all you hear about it in the news. But you don't hear the other aspect of it. You don't hear about good things that happen in Delray Beach because people like to hear the bad stuff. That's why people watch the news. That's why I don't watch the news, because it makes me depressed, more depressed. So let's go to Delray Beach. Here it is. Christmas Eve 2014. My baby cousin Matthew's on his way to come pick me up. The same baby cousin that when he was 4 years old, we were visiting New York, I was sleeping next to him and he pissed the bed and I had piss all over me. That same baby cousin. Matthew had like 18 months or almost 2 years sober. So did my other cousin, his brother, and they were doing really well. And I was a little pissed because we all three lived together. They made it out and I'm still a junkie. And I'm the smart one. They know I'm the smart one too, and look at the position I'm in. Matthew comes, picks me up, drops me off at a detox facility. It was a state-ran facility in Delray Beach on Christmas Eve. So I get in there. Luckily, they have a bed. Upon walking in, I find out that the TV is broken, and that's the only form of entertainment in the place. You walk in and there's, to the left is a big, basically a dorm room full of beds for men, and then if you go straight there's another one for women. To the right there's a big nurse's office in the middle, a door, and then on the other side was the entertainment room where they had games and TV and books, which at a state-run detox facility, the entertainment room's an interesting place. Someone's usually puking or on the floor shaking, but I loved it there. I loved just, they provided a bed, they gave you medication, and they fed you. I felt like I was at a 5-star resort. I fucking loved it. Christmas Day. It's the first Christmas without my dad. I'm in detox, and I'm fucking loving it. No joke, I'm literally loving it. I don't have to worry about being sick in the morning. I don't have to worry about finding somewhere to sleep. It's great. You got all these women in there and older men, they're crying that they miss their families and everything, and I'm just sitting there on, just loving life. It was a good time. Free food, Librium, what else could I ask for? Christmas night, you weren't allowed visitors in detox, especially there. And my little brothers and cousins came and they went to where the fence is just to tell me Merry Christmas and throw me a bunch of cigarettes, which was great because I had to keep bumming cigarettes. So now I had cigarettes, I had food, I had meds, and I had a bed. This is great. I should have stopped using drugs a long time ago. Fuck. Probably the best Christmas I had in a long time. No joke. There was no stress. There was nothing to worry about. I knew everyone else was okay, and at that point I just had to worry about myself, and I was where I needed to be. I didn't know where I was going when I got out, but I knew, or I thought I knew, that I would be okay. I finally had I had a sense of calmness over me. All the stress and the pain and the turmoil kind of went away for those 7 days. Maybe it was the Librium, but it was 7 days of mental clarity would be the best way to put it. State-ran facility detox, 5 stars. After detox, I go to a halfway house. And this place was huge. It was like a whole residential community. It had a huge pool in the middle of the place with the hot tub. It had a gym, and it had volleyball courts. I felt like I was on vacation every day. It was amazing. A week in, I'm walking to the IOP that I'm in, and in front of me I see a car pull up, and this girl gets out. And all I see is just blonde hair down to the bottom of her chin. I didn't see the rest of her, where I was too far away. And I walk into the office, and it's actually not a she, it's a he. And I go introduce myself. I say, "Hi, I'm Craig." He looks at me and just goes,
"I'm Christian,"
and walks away. It's like, that little cunt. 3 days later, I get a knock on my door in my apartment. There's Christian with about 14 garbage bags full of clothes. He said,
"The office told me I had to move into your apartment."
I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Do you need help moving stuff or putting everything in here?" He's like,
"Yeah, I do."
So I help him. Next day, I walk down to the office, and the guy who's the manager of the community goes like, "Hey, did Christian move in?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You're welcome. I just wanted to make sure I could do that for you." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, Christian came to me and said that you wanted him to move in there." So I go, "Oh, okay, thank you." Now, it became apparent over the next few days why Christian actually moved in with me.
Because I need protection from all the people that pick on me because I'm gay. And you're the biggest guy on the floor. So you're my big brother now.
Christian would talk so much shit to people. And then he would go into group therapy the next day and say that people would pick on him because he was gay. Nobody gave a fuck that he was gay. It's because he talked so much shit. And he needed protection. And at the time, I was like 230 pounds. My main form of therapy was going to the gym. And he figured I would protect him. So now I'm stuck with him. A couple days later, I meet this other guy at the IOP. And his name's Justin.
Hi, I'm Justin. I like Taking Back Sunday, Slipknot, skateboarding, and dirty white bitches.
Me and Justin clicked right away because we both listened to the same music, and music was like our everything. Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, Slipknot. We actually saw Slipknot together, and it was amazing. It was our first sober concert, or my second, his first. My aunt actually bought her first car from Justin's mom, because Justin's mom was in recovery, and my aunt was. So we had that too. And then for TV shows, he got me into Sons of Anarchy. Justin's nickname, just a side note, is Filthy Frank. You can ask his mother about that one. Within 2 days, Christian tries to get Justin kicked out of the apartment because Christian gets jealous that I was hanging out with Justin too. I find out about this, and I go yell at Christian. I tell him he needs to go fix this and go talk to the office because this is bullshit. So Christian goes and fixes it, which is great. Now it's the three of us. Over time, we became one small, diverse little family. Christian didn't have much family at home. No parents he could depend on. Justin had his mom. That was about it. I had my aunt. That was about it. And it was, we became family right away because we didn't really have much of that. And the dynamic was, Christian was my little brother. I was his older brother. Justin was like my twin brother. I was his twin brother. Christian called Justin Daddy. I don't know. And Justin thought Christian was his younger sister. That was our family dynamic. My favorite moment that I had with Justin was when we went to go see Taking Back Sunday in downtown Delray. They were playing at the Garlic Festival, of all places. And we were, it was a walk away from our house, and we were front row singing along to like our favorite band. And I got my brother next to me, and we're just singing along. It was awesome. That was one of the best moments I've probably ever had. Now with Christian, I'm not going to say the best moment. I'm going to say the most awkward moment the most awkward position that he put me in. Christian had a boyfriend move in, which, as long as he's happy, I'm cool with it. It doesn't matter. He was happy for like 2 weeks. And this kid moved from like New Jersey or something into our apartment in Delray. So he moved pretty far for Christian. Christian comes into my room after a few weeks and goes,
I told him that you're kicking him out of the apartment. He's gonna come talk to you in like a minute, okay?
and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, I guess. So the kid comes into my room, sitting on the edge of my bed, hysterically crying.
Why are you kicking me out? What did I do? I didn't do anything to you. This isn't right.
And I'm basically breaking up with him for Christian. It was the most awkward position anyone's ever put me in. But I successfully got him out of there. You know, without those guys, I don't know if I would have made it. I don't know if I would have been able to turn my life around because they played such a huge part in my recovery. So what do you get when a Jewish guy, a black guy, and a gay guy walk into a halfway house apartment? You get a motherfucking family. That's what you get. After a few months, I start working again. I have a job at a law firm during the day. It was a job I had for years, and I got fired because I was getting high, and they heard I was doing well and took me back. I worked for great people. It was just a boring job. I just wasn't passionate about it, but my whole, like, belief system at that point was, you know, work was something you did during the day in order to be able to do what you wanted at other times. But what work really was is doing what I, you know, being bored for 8 hours while just being able to like pay my rent and bills. And I was miserable, but that's what I thought life was. I started working at the treatment center as a tech at nights. So I was working 2 full-time jobs, but the tech job at night was different. It was great. I loved it. Reason I loved it was because, you know, if you go into that job with the mindset that you're going to be like an adult babysitter, the job's going to suck. But the way I didn't mean to come into it this way, but I did, was I'm supervising somebody that's going through the same thing that I went through, who has an understanding of me and I have an understanding of them, hence we're equals. So I would literally just go from apartment to apartment and just hang out with every single client. Like they were my little brothers. It was great. We would watch TV, I would get card games going. On Fridays we would have steak shakes and weights and poker. So we would all go to the gym together. I'd make us all smoothies at my house. And then we would go to one of the other houses that had a big like front porch area where we could play poker and we could grill steaks. It was almost, you know, number one, I was working, number two, I was in sobriety, and I felt like I shouldn't be having this much fun. I shouldn't be enjoying myself so much. And it became, you know, the job itself wasn't really a job for me. I never had to, all I was doing was helping people or helping people that were going through crisis. You know, it was never something I didn't want to do. I was very passionate about it. During that time too, I got my second girlfriend in treatment, my first long-term girlfriend though. And we dated over the course of that year while I was working at the treatment center, and she was also working at the treatment center. And one humid night, I was by myself, just doing the normal rounds over at the apartment while I was working. All the guys were probably out downtown hanging out or out to eat, 'cause it was a Friday. And that's when I walked into one of the apartments. Nobody was in there, but the bathroom light was on. Knock on the door, no answer. Go to open the door, door's locked. So I'm like, okay, so I knock again harder, nothing. I'm like, oh, maybe someone just locked the door in there by accident. So I go to walk out, and I was just like, this doesn't feel right. I can't, what if something happened? So I knock on the door again, nothing, and then I just put my shoulder into it and break the door open. And there's a client on the, you know, he overdosed, and he was barely breathing or not breathing, and I kicked into survival mode, and I started throwing the floor, started doing CPR, called 911, screamed for another client so they could hold my phone and talk to 911, and I'm doing CPR, and he's breathing a little bit, and it was the longest 4 minutes of my fucking life waiting for the ambulance to get there. absolutely fucking terrible waiting for them, because it was just, his life was literally in my hands. Long story short, he lived. If you'd like to hear the full story, check out episode 1 of That Time in Rehab podcast, available on YouTube, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts. So I'm on top of the world. I got a great girlfriend, amazing friends and family. Just saved a life. I love what I do and I'm passionate about it. Life's so good right now. Then I get broken up with. I'm just devastated. I feel like I had my heart ripped out and stomped on. To make matters worse, I had to work with the girl, so I had to see her like every day. And that's why people say don't shit where you eat, because of that. Couldn't get my mind off it. I felt so insecure, like so not good enough. Like I was just trash. And then I went and finally saw a psychiatrist. After talking to him for about 2 hours, I came back for another visit the next day, and we talked some more, and I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder, which is more on the depressive end, which I would have preferred bipolar 1 because I would prefer more mania, but unfortunately I get the one with probably like 98% depression. The psychiatrist was just like, he was a weird guy, but he was like cool, but not like cool, like weird cool. Like he was so weird he was cool, and he was a nice guy. And he looks at me and he goes, "You know you have Asperger's syndrome, right?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Asperger's syndrome." I go, "What's Asperger's syndrome?" I'm like, "You didn't test my blood or anything. I don't have Asperger's syndrome." And then he tells me what it is. It's on your screen. Some people they call it their God moments. And I had this. At that moment, I felt like I was absolved of every single awkward and stupid thing I said. It was all expunged off my record because I had Asperger's. It was like a whole weight was lifted off my chest. Now when I meet people, I usually lead off with, "Hi, I'm Craig. I have Asperger's." That way at least they know what's coming at them. Then I went on medications. Lots of medications. 7 pills to wake up, 5 to go to bed. But I was stable. So what does it matter? I love when you meet somebody and they're like, I don't want to have to take something I have to depend on every day, or I don't want to put that unnatural thing in my body. It's like, you were shooting dope with toilet water 2 weeks ago. Take a fucking Prozac, it might save your life. With the help of the medication, I finally felt stable enough to start dealing with things like the breakup or the grief of losing my dad. It didn't scare me anymore, the thought of having to walk through pain. I felt like I had this overall sense of calmness. I was actually a man I admired. I had friends as close as family. I was a real big brother. Life was coming together pretty good. And then I found out the facility I was working for was shutting down and moving to Indiana. I was offered an executive position, which I accepted. Little did I know what I was really in store for. watching, they call Delray Beach the recovery capital of the world because there's more meetings there, there's more people in recovery there, there's more recovery residents there, and there's more treatment centers there. So you have a large population of addicts. Whenever you have a large population of addicts, you're going to have a lot of drugs and drug dealers and crime. But that would happen anywhere. When I moved to Delray Beach, my mind was in the right place. If you want to do the right thing there, it's a great place to get sober. Delray Beach was awesome. Beaches, girls, restaurants, everything. They've got everything you could possibly want there. If you're looking to, go fuck around, there's a lot to do there as well too. Luckily I never walked down that path, but it's not a bad place. It's all about what you're looking for, because all we hear, you could look at everything and look at all the negative of it and focus on the negative. But the positive part of it is the entire time I was in Delray Beach, I never felt like an addict because there were so many of us there. I felt so comfortable. It was great. I totally recommend going there to get sober if you're willing to do the right thing. Have a great day, guys. I love you. Please like and subscribe and share my videos. Please, please, please. Thank you. Bye.